Dear colleagues, welcome to today's presentation on the SAP Business ByDesign Roadmap 2020-2021. Normally, you receive these kind of videos from me and I drive to the SAP TV studio and we record it. In the times of Corona, welcome to my home office and therefore only the picture today. As always, this is a roadmap presentation, and especially in these days, these are forward-looking statements. We try to stick to them, but obviously we can't commit that to the maximum degree. Before I go into the new capabilities, let's have a quick look back on Business ByDesign. You know these presentations. I regularly update the numbers as we are in the quiet period right now. Let me show you the numbers that we were able to measure in January 2020. As you can see, quite a healthy growth, and our customers heavily putting more business into our solutions. I'm very grateful for the 200 software partner solutions that we have and for the more than 6,000 add-ons which have been built. By now we have customers in 144 countries, 250 value-added partners, so a fast-growing community in 20 delivered countries, 12 languages by SAP, and I'll say a few more words about that. ByDesign continues to be our suite in a box. Before I talk about the details, let me answer one question which I get fairly often, and that is the question, Rainer, how do you actually build, or how do your teams actually build roadmap? The answer is there are multiple streams which come into a roadmap. Number one, we obviously observe what happens on a legal side, and keeping the solution compliant is the key priority. Number two, we are carefully watching what's happening on the architecture side, and I'll talk a bit about that towards the end of this presentation. And number three, we get a lot of influence requests from you. And a big thank you to all of the people who submit influence requests. This here's the process, and I'll not talk you through the details here, how my teams work with these influence requests, how we respond to them. Those influence requests which have more than 20 votes will be included in the reviews, and we will come back to you on those ones. Pretty often it is possible for us also to club multiple influence requests together. And here you see for 2019 the statistics on the left side has been requested by customers, and on the right side what we were able to deliver. Obviously there's a gap. Part of the gap is that we were able to club many of your proposals together, but obviously the development organization isn't that big that we would be able to deliver on all of the requirements. But as you can see, we do our best to deliver on your proposals, and a big thank you to all of you, and please keep recording influence requests and we will be more than happy to deliver on them. Now let's talk about the roadmap and what is so unique about this roadmap. When I presented the roadmaps basically for the last 3 years, they were mostly dominated by regulatory compliance topics. We had IFRS 15, we had IFRS 16, we had India's goods and services tax. We had specifically already 2018, but also into 2019 and even into 2020, GDPR. There are a lot of moving parts there. There's a lot of legislation happening. There are the first court rulings now, and we make sure that the solution is as compliant as you can expect it from us. When we look at the recent innovations, good IFRS 16, how we handle lease contracts and the resulting postings, that has been a big topic. But let me also call out that we heavily worked on our mobile applications. For example, here the mobile lead creation from business card scans. That is quite a neat new feature. If we look into the future, and as you know, we publish a rolling 4-quarter roadmap. Therefore, I club together always 2 releases so that the whole thing fits on one page for the business capabilities. Why do we publish a rolling 4-quarter roadmap? Simply for revenue recognition reasons. If I would publish something longer out, then we may have to accrue revenue, which obviously we are not too happy to do. Therefore, this is the rolling 4-quarter. Obviously, under a non-disclosure agreement, we can talk also about our 3-year plan and our 5-year plans. I marked here a couple of areas in yellow for your attention. One area where we got a lot of influence requests was everything around approvals. So we enabled quite a few objects for additional handheld approval scenarios. So that was one key topic. The second key topic that I want to call out is that we now have a strong focus on supply chain management capabilities. The good news is ByDesign always had a strong supply chain management kernel built in right from the beginning, because as we are SAP, we know that there's no chance that you can bolt on a supply chain management system later. You either decide it in the very first minute and you interlink all of your logistical processes with all of your financial processes, or it is impossible to do it later. For many years, there was not too many companies who really used supply chain management capabilities in the cloud. That has changed in the last 2 years significantly. With that, capabilities which we already had for quite a while, like kits management, you put multiple components together, sell them as one kit. Obviously, then after a while, you also have returns. And customers came back to us and said, hey, great kits functionality, but now we also need the returns capability, and we are happy to do that. You can also see that we have fairly advanced capabilities now also in the solution, like the automatic numbering of engineering change orders in bill of materials. That was something high on the wish list of our customers. Also multi-level were used in bill of materials if you need to replace certain components, was a key capability. Let's not forget everything that we do for the professional service provider space. There we already have a great solution. And there it is more our focus that we enable our partners like Projexia and others to build on top of what we are doing. So therefore here we have invested quite a lot in the area of openness. Same applies for another partner. They wanted to offer advanced bank scenarios on payment side and bank account management. Therefore, we added capabilities. And for my customers, not only in the public sector, but also in the public sector, we have the extended budget and control system, which we will start to deliver with a November release 2020. Good. I could go on with this here for hours and hours. Let me just call out 2 more things. Many of you know there are 2 capabilities which I would like to have since years in the solution. One is consignment stock. The other one is subcontracting. This here is now finally the start into delivering the consignment stock capability. As this also has a strong financial impact or a tax impact, we need to see how we roll that out, but we will keep you updated on these capabilities. That much as a short overview on the business scenarios. Please also take a look at the blogs from all of my colleagues like Jan Mattes, who are constantly keeping you up to date on what we are doing. If we look into the cross scenarios on the recent side, let me just call out one piece of work that we've done together with the ByDesign user group, specifically in Germany, was to simplify the license model even further. So we are now down to 3 different user types. With that, the ByDesign costs are super predictable, and you will never run into any surprises there. So that was a key ambition of us to improve here even further. In the area of analytics, especially the product management team, added a lot of new standard key performance indicators in the area of sales management, logistics, quality management, and projects, so that you can draw from a large library of KPIs and compile the dashboards that you want to present. User experience, mobile locking and unlocking of users was something that you wanted to have. With the November release 2020, we will start to introduce a new capability in analytics called Insight to Action. So directly in a report, when you see a list with statistical information and you see, for example, that one customer, certain invoices are not paid for a longer amount of time, directly from inside of that report, you can now block that account. So you don't need to remember the account name, go somewhere else, navigate. No, you can do it exactly here. On the user experience side, we will provide you 2011-2102. We need to see when the precise date will be with the theming capabilities so that you can adjust the theme to your corporate requirements if you want your users to have a consistent look and feel when it comes to corporate identity. Last but not least, we will introduce a new extension environment for Business ByDesign and SAP Business One called the Business Application Factory. But one more slide in a few minutes. On the legal and localization side, as I said, keeping the solution compliant for all of the countries that we support is our key priority. Data privacy remains there. The priority one topic. Advanced data retention, configuration, and analysis is something that we've worked on a lot with the capability also to have an extended data disclosure capability for natural persons. So if somebody would like to have evidence about the data that you have in your system, you can do this very nicely in SAP Business ByDesign. You see that we've worked on a lot of countries for sure. Italy and Israel have been key priorities for us in the last 12 months, and I'm really grateful for all of the work that specifically my colleagues also in Italy and the partners did together with us to really get us into a very nice situation now. Looking forward, the May release and the August release of 2020, we will see changes in the stock transfer enhancements for India, and I'm very proud of that we expect to reach general availability for South Korea. That was something which we wanted to have for quite a while, and we also wanted to support traditional Chinese as a new language. And so we will continue. Obviously, the governments are not standing still. They are innovating on new legislation, and we will make sure that we are always up to date. We added to this roadmap presentation one slide on partner add-ons, and I can only call out to all of the partners, please keep us informed about what you are doing, because your add-ons are as important to me and to my team as all of the work that we are doing, because we can't be everywhere. And we are really grateful for SADOR to provide country versions for Latin America or for Portugal, SNAP looking after Slovakia and the Czech Republic. And I could go on here through all of the different categories. So we want to publish always what our partners are doing, because they really complement, and the work that they are doing is super important. With that said about the importance of our partners, let me talk about something which is really forward-looking. And this is one of the investments, and it's not an exaggeration if I say this is one of the key activities that we are driving to keep ByDesign, but also other solutions attractive in the market, let's say for the next 10 to 15 years. What has happened in the last 5 years in the architecture environment is just amazing. If you look into the literature about what has been published about cloud native applications, this is really the next generation of cloud architecture that is emerging. And we at SAP want to leverage all of these capabilities with our cloud platform. Number one, we want to be able to run on the hyperscaler infrastructure, be it Google, be it Microsoft, Amazon, Ali, just to mention a few. And also SAP will act as a cloud provider. So that is the underlying infrastructure. On top of that, we are delivering to our partners and to our customers what we describe as the business application factory. Many of our partners discussed with us how should the perfect SAP platform look like. And they said, what you've done with Cloud Platform, with the Leonardo services is great, but our life would be a lot easier and a lot more exciting if you would also provide us with all of your data models, all of your business objects, all of your analytical data cubes, all of the modeled content that you have. So that is what we will do. And this is a really forward-looking statement. We already started this project about nearly 2 years ago. We are working with the first partners to build first extensions on the business application factory. By the way, we are drinking our own champagne here. Also, we are consuming the business application factory, and you will see more and more extensions to SAP Business ByDesign, SAP Business One, being built on the business application factory from SAP. And stay tuned, you will hear a lot more from me, especially in the second half of the year, about what this means for the future of ByDesign. With that, thanks a lot for your attention. Thanks a lot for your commitment to Business ByDesign. As you can see, the teams are working hard to keep the solution as attractive as possible and secure its future for the next 10 to 15 years. With that, goodbye.